welcome to this video and thank you for being here. It is somewhat early still. I just went to work and I'm trying to film an introduction for this tutorial before construction really starts. There's like a lot of projects going on outside of my apartment building that are very loud and make it impossible to film stuff. I have a pretty fun tutorial for today, which is sewing applique t-shirt scraps onto another shirt. It could be as difficult or easy as you want it to be depending on the shapes that you're cutting out. This is a project that I used to do in high school when I first started sewing and was getting a lot of secondhand shirts from family members to use as materials. I have a pile of secondhand shirts that I've either thrifted, some of my own old shirts, and then I also have some shirts that my mom gave me from where she used to work, which was AC Moore Craft Store, and they went out of business and she rescued a bunch of t-shirts that they were going to throw out that I've been kind of hoarding to use for future projects. Initially I thought that I would use some AC Moore shirts as the base of my shirt, but then I found like a random long sleeve shirt that I thought would make my life easier. The reason I wanted to make this project is that I've personally been pretty unenthusiastic lately about getting dressed and feeling like just like the winter, it makes it hard for me to put effort into what I'm wearing because I just want to be comfy. So this is a little solution to that, where it's kind of like an easy, comfy piece to wear, but it'll look really cool and different. So yeah, this is gonna be a funky and comfortable top. So to get started, I guess I'll pull out my pile of t-shirts, or maybe first I'll show you my sketch idea, which is just kind of like a vague, I think I made a couple sketches I have in my notebook here. Show you. Yeah, I was thinking like a long sleeve shirt, and then all these little drawings would be like cut out shapes, but these are just kind of vague thoughts. I'm like not gonna stick to that. I'm just kind of thinking I want it to be kind of like flamey nymph shapes, kind of abstract, but also maybe like butterfly-y, or like some, like it's definitely gonna be symmetrical. Before I really get started, I'm going to go through my t-shirt pile and figure out what colors I've got and which ones I'm gravitating towards. I'm going to use this long sleeve maroon shirt as the base or background, and it already fits me fine, so I won't make any adjustments to its size. So I'm gonna lay out this t-shirt that's gonna be the background, and I'm just gonna go for it with cutting out shapes out of the other t-shirts that I have. I just did this instinctively, and I was either cutting both layers of the t-shirt so that I had mirror images, or I would cut on the fold so that I had one shape that was symmetrical. As I'm cutting out the applique pieces from the other t-shirts, I will lay it out and rearrange the pieces to see what layout looks the best. It took me a while to settle on something I really liked. You'll see like the design gets changed around as I'm working. Alright, this is the layout that I decided on, so now I'm going to start pinning all of the pieces down in all of their thickness, just making sure not to catch the back of the main t-shirt that I'm working on. I'm pretty generous with the pins because I'm going to flip this over and do the same cutout process for the back of the shirt. I want the pieces on the front to be very secure with pins so they don't move around too much, because I'm going to be moving the shirt a lot as I'm working. Here's the front pin down. And now I can get started adding another design to the back of the shirt. I think the back of the shirt was a lot easier to figure out than the front because I already had a ton of pieces cut out that I was experimenting with on the front design. So really I was just laying out and messing around, figuring out what I liked, until I finally landed on like a final layout. Once I cut and arrange the pieces for the back and the rest of the sleeves, I can pin those two, and then after that it's time to sew everything. Okay, so I have my long sleeve t-shirt with all of the pinned pieces of the other t-shirt pinned to it, and now I'm going to stitch them on my sewing machine using a zigzag stitch, which I'll show an up-close shot. All the colors are quite contrasting, so I'm just going to pick a thread that matches the background color of the shirt. I do have some maroon thread that I'm going to grab. For my machine, the Bernina 1008, to zigzag stitch, I turn this all the way over as well as this all the way over. Don't even know what that's called. And then I'm gonna keep this somewhere between 2 and 3. I don't want it to be too large of a stitch. I don't want it to be too small of a stitch. I'm gonna keep it where it is at the 2, and if I don't like it, I'll adjust it as I'm sewing. Yeah, so let's do this. My sewing machine, I'm missing the part that attaches to like hold larger spools of thread in place, so I'm gonna be using just a regular sized black thread. I don't have a small thing of maroons, so anyways, doesn't matter. Let's get sewing. Alright, so now I'm gonna zigzag stitch all these pieces, and I like the zigzag stitch for knits because it offers a little bit of flexibility and stretch since the fabric is stretchy too. I'm not sure how technical that is, but it's what I've been doing for a while, and I think it's pretty easy. You know, it might seem kind of tedious, but for me, I'm so used to the tediousness of embroidery and beading that this feels very fast and luxurious. Okay, you see the idea? I am gonna iron this out and it should flatten a bit, even though it's like bubbling up now. But basically I'm gonna do that for all these pieces. I might try to adjust my tension so that it bubbles up a little less. And I want to go over the spots that are a little off, like stitched away. But basically, yeah, I'm gonna work on sewing everything, and in the spots where there's more than one piece, I'm gonna sew over the entire thickness. Like, for example, this little pink diamond that's on top of this green spot, on top of the maroon, I'm gonna stitch through all of the pieces like so. Yeah, so you get the idea. It's a little messy, but it's gonna come out really cool. So I am gonna basically get going. Alright, it's the next day, so I'm just finishing up and sewing the rest of the pieces down, and once I finish the stitching, I'm going to inspect it to see if there are threads that need to be clipped, because I'm kind of lazy about that during my sewing process. I did actually go ahead and make 2 other versions of this. First, I used the lower portion of one AC Moore shirt to remove the text of a different one, and that became my base for another applique design. And I had intended to make multiples so that I could show different difficulty levels for this video, but I basically ended up doing the same thing as the first design, just with slight variations, so it is more or less the same difficulty level. But anyways, that's the gist of the whole project. It's cutting, pinning, sewing, and a good press. And now I can show you the results. I had a lot of fun doing this project. It felt super creative and also felt more playful than my usual work routine, which made me very happy. I hope you liked this little tutorial, and I just want to say thank you again for being here and watching. I'm trying to be better about checking my DMs, so if you try this project out and share it on Instagram, feel free to tag me. I'd love to see what kind of design you come up with, and I'd love to share it in my own stories. As always, I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I look forward to the next video. So I suppose I will say farewell. Until next time, bye.